Have you ever been laughed at, looked down on, or treated like you could never become anything important? People saw your weakness, your age, your background, and decided your future before you even had a chance. That was exactly how they treated David. A small shepherd boy. Forgotten by many. Mocked by his own brothers. Ignored by soldiers. And underestimated by a giant. But what nobody knew was that heaven had already chosen him. This is the story of the boy everyone mocked, and the giant who never saw his defeat coming. Long ago, the army of Israel stood on one mountain, while the Philistines stood on another. Between them was a valley filled with fear. Every morning and every evening, a giant warrior stepped forward. His name was Goliath. He was massive, covered in heavy bronze armor. His voice thundered across the battlefield like a storm. He mocked Israel. He mocked their king. And worst of all, he mocked God. "Choose one man to fight me," he shouted. "If he defeats me, we will serve you. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." But nobody moved. Not the soldiers. Not the commanders. Not even King Saul. Fear had frozen them all. For 40 days. Goliath came out to insult them. 40 mornings. 40 evenings. 40 days of fear. Far away from the battlefield was a young shepherd named David. David was not a warrior. He didn't wear armor. He didn't carry a sword. He spent his days caring for sheep. Most people never noticed him. Even his own family overlooked him. But while others saw weakness, God saw a king. Out in the lonely fields, David learned to trust God completely. When lions attacked the sheep, God gave him strength. When bears came against him, God protected him. The hidden battles in the field were preparing him for a public battle nobody expected. One day, David's father sent him to deliver food to his brothers at the battlefield. It seemed like an ordinary task. But sometimes, the journey that changes your life.
But sometimes, the journey that changes your life begins with a simple assignment. When David arrived at the camp, he heard Goliath shouting again. The soldiers looked terrified. David could not understand it. "Why is everyone afraid?" he asked. "Who is this giant that dares to mock the armies of the living God?" But instead of encouraging him, his own brother mocked him. "Why are you even here?" his brother snapped. "Go back to your sheep." David was rejected before he was respected. People often attack what they fail to understand. His brothers saw a shepherd boy. God saw a giant killer. Soon, word reached King Saul that a young boy was willing to fight Goliath. David was brought before the king. Saul looked at him in disbelief. "You are too young," Saul said. "You cannot fight this giant. He has been a warrior since his youth." But David answered with confidence. "I have fought lions and bears while protecting my sheep. The God who delivered me then will deliver me now." That confidence did not come from pride. It came from experience with God. King Saul finally agreed to let David fight. But first, Saul placed his own armor on David. The armor was heavy, too large, uncomfortable. David could barely move. So David removed it. Because he understood something important. You cannot win someone else's battle by pretending to be someone else. David picked up 5 smooth stones from a brook. Just stones. No sword. No spear. No shield. Only a sling. And faith. To everyone watching, it looked ridiculous. A shepherd boy with stones, walking toward a giant warrior. The entire battlefield wondered if David was walking toward victory or death. When Goliath saw David approaching, he laughed. "Am I a dog?" Goliath shouted, "that you come at me with sticks?" The giant mocked him openly. "Come here, boy. I will feed your flesh to the birds." But David did not run. He did not shake. He did not back down.
Because faith speaks differently than fear. David answered boldly,
If this story inspired
"You
you,
come against me with sword
don't
and
forget
spear,
to like this video,
but I come
subscribe,
against
and
you in
share
the
it with
name of the
someone who
Lord."
needs encouragement today.
Then David declared,
And remember,
"The battle
your
belongs to
size
the
does not
Lord."
determine your destiny.
Imagine the silence
Faith
after those
does.
words. A boy everyone mocked, speaking with the confidence of heaven itself. Then Goliath charged forward. The ground shook beneath the giant's feet. Soldiers watched in horror. But David ran toward the battle. Not away from it. Toward it. He placed a stone into his sling, spun it through the air, and released it. The stone flew with deadly precision, straight into Goliath's forehead. The giant stopped. Everything froze. Then suddenly, Goliath crashed to the ground. Because faith speaks differently than fear. The giant who terrified nations, David answered boldly, was defeated by a shepherd boy with faith. "You come against me with sword and spear." The battlefield exploded with shock. "But I come against you in the name of the Lord." The Philistines ran in fear. Then David declared, "Israel surged forward in victory. The battle belongs to the Lord." And the boy everyone mocked. Silence after those words became the hero nobody expected. Everyone mocked. David's victory was never really about size. Then Goliath charged forward. Everyone
The
else
ground
measured
shook
Goliath
beneath
the giant's feet by how big he was. Soldiers watched in horror. David measured God, but David ran toward the battle. By how powerful he is, not away from it. That changed everything. Toward it. People may laugh at you now. He placed a stone into his sling. They may underestimate your dreams. Spun it through the air. Ignore your talent. And released it. Mocked your beginnings. The stone flew with deadly precision. But remember David, straight into Goliath's forehead. He was rejected before he was respected. The giant stopped. Mocked before he was celebrated. Everything froze. Hidden before he was elevated. Goliath, the very people who doubt you today. The giant may one day witness the victory God gives you, was defeated by a shepherd boy with faith. There is always a Goliath in life. The battlefield exploded with shock. Failure. The Philistines ran in fear. Rejection. Israel surged forward in victory. Criticism. And the giants come in many forms. Became the story of David reminds us of one powerful truth. David's victory was never really about size. It was about fear backed by an entire army. Everyone else measured Goliath. So when people laugh at you by how big he was, keep going. David measured God. When they say you are too small, by how powerful he is, keep growing. That when changed they say everything. You cannot win. People may laugh at you now. Because they may underestimate your dreams. The boy everyone mocked. Ignore your talent. Becomes the one everyone remembers forever. But remember David.
If this story inspired you,
he was rejected before he was respected.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs encouragement
today.
Hidden
before he was elevated.
And remember,
the very people
your
who
size
doubt
does
you
not
today
determine your destiny.
May one day witness
Faith
the
does.
victory God gives you. There is always a Goliath in life. Fear. Failure. Pain. Rejection. Criticism. Giants come in many forms. But the story of David reminds us of one powerful truth. One person with faith is stronger than fear backed by an entire army. So when people laugh at you, keep going. When they say you are too small, keep growing. When they say you cannot win, remember David. Because sometimes, the boy everyone mocked becomes the one everyone remembers forever.